All right. Hey, Chatterbox number. It's a number. 15. That's the title's on the screen.
Right
I should
there.
probably be able to tell.
It is literally right there.
It's literally right there. Yeah, it is. I almost feel bad about that.
You should.
We're all going to hell. I think that much is clear.
Yeah.
Together though, so that's nice.
Yeah, that's the key element right there.
In a handbasket.
Pop out chat. There we go.
You don't want to go to hell solo, man.
Yeah, I would not want to go to hell any other way.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Maybe not with you though. I might. There's probably a lot better people to go to hell with. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, like you're in the top 100, I guess, but
yeah,
still.
You're getting up there. You're climbing the ladder.
Not quite there
steps. Yet. Baby steps.
Let's see.
All right, spreading the love.
You.
Then the little. I love this intro we got going on. So, who we have today is Stabby, of course, myself, Engelhardt, and Deitois.
Oh,
Am I saying that right? Deitois?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, you are.
Awesome.
It's just made up nonsense anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So.
The Twa. There.
Like from a martial arts movie?
Yes, a bad martial arts movie.
What you all didn't know is Detroit is really an Asian guy hanging out with us, not a white.
Damn it, my cover is blown.
Yep.
We've already come to the conclusion, discussing this with Mike, that he's such a mysterious individual, and that we know only that he works for the government, that he is our NSA agent that watches us.
We figured.
Yeah.
We think it's an inside job.
Yeah, so we're on to you, Mike. And so if
Yeah.
he falls off the map all of a sudden, then you kind of realize that we were right.
Yep.
And so his cover's
blown. Yeah, because we're dangerous to the establishment.
Yeah, we'd take over the world if it wasn't for the NSA agent in our midst.
Right. Gotta keep an eye on you fuckers.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, man. So I think we should probably at least touch on the thing in Virginia a little bit, like that crazy shit that went down where the guy ran over a bunch of people. And just can we, the love of Christ, can we stop making it a political agenda every time somebody does like some sort of crazy crime? Like,
yeah, ascribing it to everyone of a fucking group you don't like.
And here, I'm going to answer your question for you. That's a big old no.
Yeah, no, I don't.
just.
Well, what is it? Fucking McCain, crazy warmonger McCain, was calling the people on the left wing, like the Antifa people, angels.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty like fucking intense. Like, I think we know he's against the Republicans and anything that people might actually want.
Nervous streak.
Yeah, I think he's given up even pretending that he's actually Republican, dude.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Subtlety is key.
Nah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's a given. Like, I don't know if anybody else is going to really talk too much, but like, obviously, the alt-right isn't entirely racist people. There are racist factions of the alt-right. It's a relatively young political movement, so there's just tons of people trying to claim it. A whole myriad of different points of view in it. Sure, some of them are neo-Nazis. Sure, some of them are KKK types. But the majority of them are nationalists. Some of them are white nationalists, which is like racism light, I guess you would call it.
Yeah, the kinder, gentler racism.
Yeah, but the whole situation basically followed the standard left-wing city rally thing. They went into rally. The city actually said it was illegal. So they, in the ACLU, sued, went in front of a federal judge and got a federal order stating that it was absolutely legal and the city could not, under any circumstances, deny them that right. Because it's the Constitution, you have the right to assembly.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was completely permitted. It was entirely legal, and the police showed up in force. And for, I guess, and this is reports I've seen from various different like news outlets that are not the mainstream media, but like people who were like on the ground with cameras. The police were there for the majority of the first part of it, and then left when Antifa started getting really violent, and basically just forced the right wing through a gauntlet of Antifa to get out. I forgot, I didn't mention that to you when we were talking earlier, but essentially they cordoned off streets and just let them go a certain way to get out. And it basically was like running a gauntlet of Antifa. And so this kid made the worst possible fucking choice. He's 20 years old. And obviously, you know, he's going to go to jail where he belongs because you can't fucking kill people with your car and
Right.
you know, be like, oops, my bad. But, you know, it's obviously it's a tragedy. And I just, the whole political movement thing, like, where everybody wants to politicize it, it's sort of like when people have a shooting and they're like, pro-guns, anti-guns. Instead of just saying, man, let's look at this big thing. This was a fuck-up from beginning to end.
Yeah, this is all bad. This is just
Yeah.
the shit that leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Like, that's just... You can't
Yeah.
try not to make something out of it that's more than it should.
Yeah. There's no winners here, man.
Yeah.
One shouldn't
You know?
feel like they've won. One shouldn't feel like they've lost a situation like this.
Well, and I think
Yeah.
Trump's statement, the one that he got fucking a shitstorm for, where he basically just said, look, there's a lot of hate on all these different sides, and that's something that is just not good, and we need to look at and we need to work on.
What an
I don't remember
asshole.
what his exactly statement was, but that was essentially what it came down
Right.
to. And everybody's like, he's a piece of shit. And it's like, I don't understand how that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. Yeah. He's like, oh,
Yeah, well,
we
that's because
want-
almost everybody is on one side or the other and thinks that only their side is okay and justified. So
Oh, yeah.
saying both sides are wrong. What? No, only the other side's wrong.
Yeah, well, I'm all for people's rights to go out and say whatever they want, no matter how awful it is. And I think the police should not have walked away and left them unprotected. And I'm all for
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous, dude.
for counter protests, provided that they don't start fucking assaulting the original protesters.
Yeah.
You can't just be like,
Fucking
hey
ridiculous.
man, I don't agree with you. I'm gonna hit you with this baseball bat now. It's just how I do. You know, it's not,
That's cool, bro. Go ahead and swing away.
yeah, that's just not
Whack.
you can't justify either side of that. And obviously I'm not all right. I don't side with them on anything. It's just it seems kind of shitty that every time there's a freedom of speech rally, which is not just the alt-right. So in this case, it's I think was primarily the alt-right, but there were still other people from other groups there. It just seems shitty to always be like, oh, they're all this one group. And it's like, no, there's a lot of people who are like, hey, freedom of speech, I kind of approve.
Yeah, anything that have to do with freedom of speech, it's so fucking ironic that it always seems to get shouted down or shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
like
yeah.
even the one that, was it Politicon where they have like Ann Coulter and Greg Proops and those fuckers? Like, I don't like any of those people, really. I don't like Ann Coulter. I don't like Greg Proops. But, like, yeah, they were actually shouting down the free speech panel.
I got to say, I like Greg Proops' comedy. I don't agree with
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I should have qualified that.
Yeah, his politics are shit.
Yeah, actually, it's pretty funny. You remember that show Versus back in the day?
No.
He was the host of a show called Versus on comedy. I don't know if it was Comedy Central back then, but he would have these weird groups. Like it was set up like a game show, but it would have weird contestants. Like it would be soccer moms versus dominatrixes or fucking weird shit like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they'd be fucking.
Can we settle the whole alt-right Antifa argument like just by having them on that show?
Yeah, that would be interesting, man. Revive it for one episode only.
And we'll just decide like that's who gets to be right, and then they can just shut the fuck up and stop fucking it
Yeah.
up for everyone else.
All right.
It'd be great. Stop having all this extremist bullshit, and we'll actually have conversations. It'd be great.
Yeah, nobody does that shit. Everybody must die. Everybody's evil that doesn't agree.
I'll mark that on the calendar for later.
Yeah, I think the one thing that really does bother me is, number one, that they don't report on anything about the police just withdrawing and then letting everybody get beat up. And that they're never honest about the violence. It's always the Nazis that are violent. When, like, 99% of the time, they're defending themselves. Now, in that self-defense, a lot of times they go way too far. Because you're in a huge fight and it's melee and chaos and people are going to go too far.
Yeah, especially if you feel you're outnumbered, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like the guy just fucking punched that one girl in the face really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I kind of understand where he's coming from. She was going to hit somebody with a bottle, but
Oh, Moldy Locks. Yeah.
This is for the Berkeley thing.
Well, but then there was a lot of other incidences there where it was like, maybe you guys are getting a little too violent here. Come on now. But you know, it's almost self-explanatory, ironically, in that the more you deny people the right to speak freely, the more violence you're going to get. Because if people can't say it, they're going to get violent to enforce it. You know what I mean? No,
it's been heading this way, man. Unfortunately, you know, it's not like violence has been de-escalating. You know what I mean? It's fucking ramping up to fucking, and it's gonna keep getting worse, even worse than this shit if they don't fucking quit fucking around.
Well, I mean, like the Evergreen College, the most recent crazy SJW takeover, they had people actively like hunting down anyone on campus that they could get away with beating up. I don't know if you ever heard about the Evergreen College thing, Garth.
Probably it's been a
Evergreen College is like this sort of bizarre, artsy fartsy, you know, fucking follow your own path, man, hippy dippy kind of college. And the SJW basically took it over and like literally held the guy who runs it hostage over the most bullshit thing in the world. So every year in a lot of colleges, there's a day without color or whatever it is. And so all the minority kids will just decide not to go to school so everybody can see like how different it is without them or something. I don't really understand why you would do that, but
yeah, I'm sure it had meaning when it started, but it really doesn't anymore.
Yeah. But instead in Evergreen College, they decided they were going to have a day without white people, and white people weren't allowed to show up.
Oh.
Which is entirely unacceptable in my mind. You don't get to tell other people what they can do. That's not how that works.
Huh.
Yeah.
You can choose to show up or not on your own, but you can't dictate whether other people show up based entirely on race.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, of course, it's okay to do anything against white people. You know,
yeah,
that's how it is nowadays.
And I'm not. Yeah, I don't know what we're going to be doing with you.
It's fucking ridiculous, dude. That's what a lot of the backlash is, that ridiculous notion that, you know, you can do anything to fucking, or say anything about white people, but you can't say anything about any other minority.
Yeah, and you can't have any real discussion about any of it.
Yeah.
Because as a white man, you don't have any value, and you're not capable of any sort of empathy or intelligent thought.
Well, I think I share a slightly different opinion on that. It's like, you know how someone kind of ruins it for the rest of them? There's always that one person you're just like, oh, you had to go and fuck it up for all of us. So it's like there's the people who are out there that make pretty much just racism straight up, is that it makes the topic uncomfortable to talk about. So now people who actually want to talk about it can't. And I'm talking about for anything in particular. It's like you want to discuss it. It's like there's so much violence, there's so much hatred that enough people are presenting. They're all like, you know, showing that when it comes down to actually talking about it, like no one wants to, because it just brings up all that.
Well, no, what I'm saying is literally there's in a lot of colleges right now, they're just refusing to allow white people to have any sort of part in any kind of discussion.
Probably because they don't want the place to burn down. They probably don't. They don't want the ramifications of it. Like they're too worried about that. Kind of shit.
I don't know.
Here, hold on. Here, let me hand you some lighter fluid and a match. Have fun. Yeah, it's like it feels like they're probably doing that. So they're just like, no, let's just take away the lighter fluid and the match and just like fucking call it a day. You probably don't want to do it. Have anything to do with it.
Pretty much just racism. Yeah, that's what we're saying. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm saying like, it's
this racist bullshit. That's like, instead of people being able to have open and honest discussion, they're saying, well, you're white, you don't get to be part of anything, which is just racism. It's not about one person spoiling the bunch, because that's racist as well if you think about it.
It's pretty much
so if I'm in a class with a bunch of black people, I'm like, well, there's some black criminals out there, so we should all watch our fucking wallets. That's one person spoiling the bunch. It's kind of nonsense. You know? Yeah. It's a shitty way to go. It's just racism.
Oh, I'm not saying it's a good way to do it.
Yeah, no, I know.
Not by a long shot.
No, you're dead on. You're right. Like, I'm sure there are some racist people out there that pissed off some other people, but you can't hold everybody responsible for the actions of like one or two people. That's just not reasonable. And when nobody talks with each other, then everybody just gets mad, and then apparently starts running each other over with fucking cars, beating each other with bike locks. And that bike lock guy was fucking gross too. Jesus, man.
Happy days, happy conversation.
That was a college professor of ethics.
Yeah.
That was
fucking the irony.
People in the head with bike locks, those big U locks.
Is that
on a sock at the end of a sock, dude?
I do a very good job of mixing up irony and coincidence.
No, that's definitely
very ironic. Is that?
Oh, it's Akinaro.
Hello, Akinaro.
I don't know if Akinaro.
There he is.
The last episode, Akinaro.
Oh wait, that's
went to sleep like before we finished, and he asked for a lullaby. And so Deitwa and I attempted to sing Rockabye Baby, and apparently Deitwa doesn't know the words.
Okay. Yeah, I knew the first two lines through the treetop, and then I'm like, wait, what's next?
What's going on?
I completely spaced on it.
Why am I not wearing pants?
But Akinaro, if you didn't check, at the end of the last podcast, number 14, you might want to check it out. We did attempt to actually sing a lullaby, sir.
Yeah, and I screwed it up, dude. My old man memory.
So I don't know if you remember, but Deitwa and I were talking about also doing like a daytime one.
Yeah.
So on Thursdays at 1, we're doing them now as well.
Okay, good.
So that would be last Thursday.
Oh, okay.
In the afternoon, that was that one.
Okay.
I don't know what time that'd be for Akinaro.
Probably close to, I'm assuming the nighttime since he's gonna go to sleep.
Right.
Well, I don't know, dude.
Just
he might sleep during the day so that he can like chase little girls at night.
Like a night walker.
I'm not sure.
Like dress up like Batman and corral small children.
Yeah, he's saving the world one child at a time.
I don't know what's creepier, that thought or you guys singing him a lullaby like that.
Yeah, that was a little weird. But it seemed right at the time.
Both of those make me equally uncomfortable.
Yeah, we didn't put a lot of thought into it. It just seemed, like you said, seemed like the right thing at the time, dude.
You know, I'm uncomfortable.
You can't judge us both by our actions, man. That's not right.
Yeah,
wait,
watch me.
Oh, that's like that Dennis Riley guy. Or is it Dennis Riley?
Riley Dennis
or whatever, who's mad at everybody now because he's actually going to go through with like transgender surgery, and everybody was calling him, you're not really trans and all this stuff because of the way he was acting. And it's like, well, dude, all we have to judge you on is your actions and your words. So up until now, your actions and words have pretty much made it clear that you weren't really like a trans guy.
Yeah, you were fucking chicks with your penis and claiming to be a lesbian.
And also claiming that you never wanted to have the surgery.
Right. Or take the hormones. Or, yeah.
And
you didn't come close to passing at all.
Yeah, nothing at all.
Nice.
Other than like a little eyeshadow, I think.
Yeah, a little wing fucking eyeshadow, dude. And he grew his hair long.
Yeah.
I still can't bring myself to refer to Riley as a her, dude. I just can't do it, dude.
To me, it doesn't matter. Like, I really, like, because, like, in polite conversation, I'll call somebody whatever the fuck they want. Like, that's just being, basic polite. Like,
right.
Yeah.
But, like.
You might have to tell me, but I have no.
Yeah, you can't get mad at me if you look like a man. And there's no way to indicate, unless you're wearing a fucking name tag with all your information. You can't get mad at me for not being the right number, first off.
This just, reminded me of a random story when I was a kid.
Oh,
so, but it had some sort of, the name tag thing reminded me of this. When you used to fly by yourself, when you could actually do that as a kid.
Oh, yeah. That was a long
they
time
give
ago.
you these little bibs that literally had all your information on it. And so it was about, like a 4x4 inch, piece of paper that's just tagged onto your front. And it's in case of loss, here's all the bullshit. Return this to here. And so it's pretty much just like that. That's a genius idea. Just put it on your chest right there, you'll be fine. It's I'll be able to read it, get all my information. All right, I know what I need to do. We should all do that for a lot of people.
If it works, like the way I look at it, man, if you really are that upset when people get your name, your gender, or whatever wrong, I'm never going to use they or them. That's just silly.
Yeah.
To refer to one person as a plural, come up with a better one. Don't destroy the English language. That's like using the wrong form of there for something.
Oh, that's a pet peeve of mine.
Yeah,
my God.
That's why I can't use they or them for one person. You're asking me to use a plural for a singular.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous, dude.
But like just wear a name tag that says female. John,
female
whatever
pronouns.
your name is at this point.
Yeah. I still think Riley. I still wouldn't put it past Riley to claim that he's had the surgery and not have the surgery.
Well, a lot of the people on YouTube, the SJW Looney Tunes on YouTube, I think are honestly just fucking scamming for money. And they've found like that if they just keep pushing this particular thing,
they're following the Anita Sarkeesian model.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah, definitely worked for her.
I like Akinoa. I write there. I'm pissed. Get lost is my gender. Oh God! I saw this little clip of Queer Kids show, which is an SJW show that's aimed at like children, where they want to indoctrinate them into all the SJW sort of weird stuff.
Their target audience is ages 3 to 7.
A weird tranny guy on there. And this dude's got a big fucking beard, like big burly fucking beard that he just keeps when he dresses as a woman. And it always looks like a child molester when somebody with a beard just dresses as a lady to me. It just always looks so creepy, like this person probably is going to touch kids. And I know it's not true. It's totally unfair. Just look.
Oh boy.
Although I get that from Lindsay just the first time I looked at her, dude. Well, she's not a cross-dresser, obviously. I'm pretty sure she's actually a woman. But I looked at her and I'm like, I would not leave my kid alone with her.
I saw it on live stream, and you're not the only one who thinks that.
Right.
Like the comment section was fucking brutal in the live stream. It was like 99% of the people being like, "You should probably kill yourself, you fucking whore."
Oh, Queer Kid Stuff did a live stream?
Oh, I think she does them regularly, I think.
Oh, I thought they were all pre-recorded ones, dude.
And then there was like 0.5% of people just yelling at the mean people, and like another 0.5% actually participating in the live stream. And I was just like, wow, I couldn't do that.
That's chaos.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it wouldn't bother me, but I just wouldn't be the point. It's so
that's nuts. Dude, that's such a disturbing channel, dude. Like, it fucking kind of angers me that channel exists.
You know
and
what?
That they think that fucking kids ages between 3 years old and 7-year-olds need to fucking learn about that shit is just fucking weird to me. Anybody who believes that, I kind of automatically think they have to be a pedo, dude.
Kids between 3 and 5 aren't sexual beings.
Right.
You don't really need to understand about sex or anything to do with it at that point.
Right.
They just need to be kids.
You have to learn the basic functioning.
Yeah, not stick a fork in the egg socket.
Yeah.
And fuck it.
Yeah, you mean
be neat, be polite, share your toys, don't be an asshole.
Yeah, get to the mind phase in one piece.
Yeah.
Right. So you don't think they need to go away to camp like they do? Because they are actually camp. I think actually somewhere in San Francisco or out of San Francisco, they have a camp for transgender kids aged like 4 or 5 years old.
Oh, there are no transgender children.
Yeah, I know, dude. It's ridiculous.
I don't believe in that. I just don't think kids are ready for that kind of choice.
Right.
And the parents who are like it's one thing if you let your kid dress however they want, like who fucking cares, right? Yeah. But it's another one when like they're talking about hormone blockers and stuff like that for like, and they are for some little kids.
Oh yeah, dude, it's fucking nuts.
Oh, Miggy Satao, hey, what's up, man? Miggy in the chat.
Hey, Miggy.
I should probably put the link in the Discord in case Lotus wants to join.
All right. Oh yeah, I forgot about Lotus Wolf, dude.
Wait, you actually have Lotus working now? Didn't that like?
This isn't Lotus. This is
Or no, Discord. Discord working now?
Discord works. Yeah, I have it working. The only person who didn't was
Nish.
I don't think she's on right now, so I don't know. I'm not worried about it. I gotta stop. I'm actually concentrate what I'm actually doing. Well, we're good, Maggie. Good. How are you doing?
Hanging in there, man.
Hopefully you're doing all right.
Tired as feet.
I'm tired as fuck. My mom just did Gishwiz, which is greatest. What do you call that? Where you run around and you find random shit.
Scavenger hunt.
Greatest
Scavenger
scavenger
hunt,
hunt
there
the
you
world
go.
has ever known.
Mhm.
And it's all from an actor who's on a show called Supernatural.
Oh, God.
And so, and they don't actually go find things; they just go do weird shit.
Yeah.
And so, like, one of the things was she had to paint ass butt on the side of a donkey.
Damn.
So, like, you know, we went and found a miniature donkey farm here in like the town I live in, and the guy let her fucking, you know, use some water-based paints and paint ass butt on the side of one of his donkeys. We took a whole bunch of pictures.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, you would never expect that would work, but apparently a lot of people got that one. A lot of people with donkeys were just like, go for it.
It's like, yeah, totally.
Well, they're also called an ass, so if you're putting it near the butt of the donkey / ass, that's kind of appropriate.
See, now you're just labeling. You're just labeling the section that you're talking about.
Mickey, if you're having an internal crisis, it seems like we should have you on the show.
We should present it. We should put it on a stage with lights and be like, here, present your problem to the world. Or to
I feel like it's
several
just kind of how this show works, though. We all just talk about shit that bothers us.
more or less.
Yeah. So, more of an internal crisis than having Charles Manson as an idol?
Well, it's an icon, not an idol. We don't know that he was.
Oh, no, he said he idolizes.
Oh, well, in that case.
Yeah, I believe, if I'm mistaken, but I believe he said.
She didn't know where I live. I'm good.
It was some positive thing about Manson.
I live in Louisiana, by the way, just in case anybody wonders. Louisiana.
Louisiana. Ding.
Well, they're living in the bayou, Louisiana.
And I'm actually in Japan teaching English to Japanese people.
That actually fucking okay. So two things you just reminded me of things.
Oh, we got a duo.
Duo.
You're
so
welcome.
First one is I'm going to put a link to a video talking all about bananas and artificial banana flavor because we talked about that in the last.
Oh yeah.
What?
And it's a candy making channel that I love called Lofty Pursuits.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll leave a link in the chat for that. It's super fun. You get to get the guy makes all sorts of different kinds of candy, sugar-based candies, and you see how he does like the patterns and makes them into candy, so that it pops them up and they get little designs on them and stuff. Very interesting.
Nice.
And the second one was there was this crazy thing I saw. Oh, enjoying just talking about it in chat. It's cool, bro.
And real quick, my apologies, Miggy. I completely misread what you were saying last time, dude. You're right. And he's an interesting or fascinating. I can see that, dude.
There was a guy who did a whole long video complaining about being an English teacher in Japan. And then this other guy who's an English teacher in Japan did this whole long video being like really mad about it and just using all sorts of weird logical fallacies to argue against it instead of just being like, yeah, you know what, it's not for some people and that's his experience wasn't great and that can happen, but my experience is great and here's why it can be really fun and, you know, instead of being rational about it. And this is actually a fairly large YouTube channel, like several 100,000 subscribers. And I just left a little comment just to be a dick. I was like, man, I'd love to debate you sometime. You're the fucking worst. he fucking, not only did he respond to me, he fucking went to my channel and watched some of my videos to shit on me about my videos.
Nice.
Sensitive about it.
Wow.
It was really fucking funny.
Yeah. I was going to guess it was failure, but then you said a couple 100,000 subscribers.
Oh, goddamn. Yeah.
Well, you know, you've had run-ins with him before, and he tends to be thin-skinned as well.
I only had the one. I don't hold a grudge. I don't care.
Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah, he's hilarious, but he is really thin-skinned, though. I mean, that's pretty obvious.
Oh, there's.
So that's crazy, dude. Like, how do you fucking like? So the guy was basically trying to insist to the other guy that says he had a good experience, trying to insist to him that he didn't have a good experience?
No. So the guy that had the bad experience made the video, and the guy who's having a great experience was like, everything he said is wrong. It's his own fault. He's just dumb. He didn't do it.
Okay.
He made all these bad choices.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay.
Instead of just saying like, you know what, man, maybe this guy just worked for the wrong company. I've never dealt with that company. You might want to avoid them. Here's some companies I worked for that were really good.
Mm.
You know, instead of, you know, he could have gone a whole different way.
I gotcha. I kind of went backwards on that one. Yeah. Okay.
And the really shitty thing he kept doing was, well, I don't know how that works, but this is how that works.
Wow.
And he kept doing that, and like he thought he was being sneaky or something, or he just didn't understand that that's completely illogical and invalidates whatever argument you're making.
Right.
It's like, here, let me take a stab in the dark, and you're gonna have to support it as fact.
Yeah, I don't know how cars work, but when you have an engine in a car and the pistons, you can't do it.
Like, I'm no expert, but let me talk like I'm an expert.
Yeah, it was so funny to listen to.
Magical pixie dust. That's
but I just thought
that
how thin-skinned he was the funniest part. Like, homeboy went to my channel to look at my videos to shit on me about how bad my videos were and how few subscribers I had in comparison.
Oh wow, that's the piss match.
Yeah.
It's like, hey boyo, like it looks good for having a few, you know, like 100,000 subscribers, but you still ain't big.
Yeah.
So don't even.
Well, I have like fucking 80 subscribers or something on my other channel, so it's not like I'm fucking.
But it's just like
player.
It's not like you're making fun of him for the fact of how many subscribers he has. He's taking the low punches.
I just thought that was really funny.
That's hilarious.
I am right better than you. I have hundreds of thousands of subscribers.
I'm just trying to picture this guy's day. All right, I'm gonna make a video now. I'm going to read like the thousands of comments and check each channel to tell them why they're assholes.
Oh man, I assume he just goes from one obsessive thing to the next, dude, and you just happen to be there for that stretch, dude.
It was really funny. This wasn't even a new video. This is like a year old. Like he went to a video that he made a year ago that I left a mean comment on.
So to sidestep all the funny about like working in foreign countries, it's actually a pretty sweet deal, and it does actually determine what you do with yourself and how you hold yourself and what you want to make out of it. There is a good portion of that actually, like, to be real about it for a second, it's very true.
The guy made a lot of points that made a lot of sense. It sounded like he got involved with a company that was real shady.
Yeah.
And was really fucking him over pretty badly. And it sounded almost like working for like the company town kind of bullshit where like you get just enough money that you don't die, but not enough to actually fucking do anything other than work.
Yeah.
And he was working like 16, 17-hour days, 6 days a week.
But see that part, when you see that part, that's actually how their system functions.
Not even in Japan. No, usually you get more time off than that.
Korea was the same thing. My older brother, he worked.
No. I'm talking about the other English teachers, not all the regular jobs.
For all the teachers there, like he was a teacher in Korea, and it's probably about the same school structure. Real, obviously don't quote me on that, but I'm assuming it's the same.
Well, the same guy had worked in other countries. Yeah. And usually you work roughly 32 hours of classes, and you have like maybe another 10 or 12 hours of like work you have to do to prep. But you get basically like a normal work week and everywhere else. And he's working in China now, and he's getting about that.
Yeah. And
doing just fine. And he's like, you're not going to make, bank. You're not going to get rich, but you make enough to get by and put a little bit in saving.
Yeah.
He just to be fair, the company he worked with offered him a bunch of stuff and then didn't deliver any of it.
Yeah, see, that is hands down the company you're working for. That's like, if they're not.
And he said it could just be that company too. Like he was the person who was complaining was very even-handed and very like, he was like, I probably made mistakes. It was very open about it. It wasn't like Japan is shit.
Yeah.
There was nothing like that at all.
You probably, in comparison to being a teacher in a lot of countries, because if you stay with like Japan or Korea or probably even China, you're not going to get paid glamorously. It's like when you work.
No, in China, he says he makes tons.
Really? Because
It's
I
just
figure
everything.
like,
If the cost of living there is so low.
oh, I guess that with that, yeah, I
Yeah.
can understand. I can understand that one. But if you work in somewhere like Indonesia, or
Well, and he's
like
working
anywhere in there, it's like you get paid bank and it's all it's like it's very cheap to live there.
Yeah, he's only working like 30 hours a week, and he's making more than enough to get by and put savings away. I thought that was like ridiculous. Like, wow, that's not bad. I got no interest in it, but I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's an interesting line of work, and it can. I can't imagine how stressful it is. Yeah.
Here's the part I don't get. A lot of these people that go and teach English don't even speak the language, so I don't know how you even do that.
Yeah, that's always perplexed me, dude.
Well, I mean, like, how do you explain to somebody? No, when you say "pero," it means "but." You know, like if you don't actually speak Spanish. Pero, but as in like, no.
Yeah, nalgas.
Pero is dog.
Perro. P-E-R-R-O.
Or pero.
I thought pero
Yeah,
was.
it's a double R. P-E-R-R-O is dog.
Yeah,
Perro.
P-R-O is the P-E-R-O is.
I think so.
butt?
Yeah.
I don't know. I always knew it as nalgas, which is like butt cheeks.
No. I'm not talking about ass. I'm talking about butt. It's in the article.
Oh.
You know,
Oh.
I think this is butt.
Oh, okay.
Something.
All right.
Well, I'm
Yeah, we both went with the ass on that one. Okay.
Well, we were talking about ass butt.
You go on.
Okay, so
We're
P-E-R-O.
both
Okay.
right. P-E-R-R-O is a dog. P-E-R-O is butt.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I just didn't know you couldn't roll your R's or something because.
I don't speak Spanish very well. I got
It's
barely through Spanish class in high school.
I got it. Perro.
Armando.
Well, there are people who just can't roll their R's. I happen to be one.
Perro.
Yeah, I got through like the bare minimum in high school of Spanish. And I probably should have taken something like French.
Yeah, I worked in a Mexican food restaurant for like 6 years, so I picked up a lot of the pronunciation and all that just by listening. So there.
Drinking water.
Yeah. So Stabby, what happened with you and Annie B or whatever, the Scooby Shaggy thing?
Oh, I have no idea. That was weird.
It was a little man. She came right back at you and like, dude, I don't know that you need to take it that seriously.
It's not for you, lady.
Right. It seemed like a pretty harmless thing that you said, and she was like, "Rah!"
Yeah, well, one, I'm not gonna keep responding. Let me
Yeah, no, I get it. I was reading through like her just that thing, and I'm like,
it was
you're dumb. Like,
I-
you know what she strikes me as? Not to ironically, since you made the armchair psychologist joke back at her, but she strikes me as somebody who thinks she's funny because she's pretty, and guys pretend she's funny and laugh at her stupid ass jokes.
So there was
You know what I mean?
a long joke that they were going back and forth on like Scooby-Doo stuff. And she's like, "Don't you dare call me Velma again. I'm Daphne or whatever." And I'm like, "Are you sure you might be Scooby? Because it's it's like a joke, man."
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty innocuous.
Her response to that is, "Sorry, buddy. I know you feel so alone in being dog face ugly, but lashing out to others is not the way to handle it." And I was just like, "Fuck." Lash out at anyone.
Woo!
So I just put
she took that
armchair
really
psychology over a tiny joke because I'm like, crazy bitch.
Armchair psychology.
She responds with nice being able to actually take a joke. Who's the armchair psychologist again? And I'm not.
Yeah, it didn't really make any sense, dude.
Actually, we both misspelled armchair. I think armchair is one word. We separated it into two words. So
Yeah.
kind of dumb on both our parts there.
Yeah.
But then I was just my last thing I said was, or not the last thing I said, but as much as I'd like to make some income back, your personality and attitude will do more harm to you than I ever could. So why bother? Because I'm just like, I'm done. This is just ridiculous.
You're not worth my time, fucking dumb bitch.
But I just kind of wanted to be like, look, you're obviously upset, but like, I'm hoping that at some point, maybe in the future, that'll like come back to haunt her enough that she'll be like, maybe I shouldn't be such a bitch. Maybe I'll like have better like interactions with people.
I'll reiterate.
Yeah, probably
something
not, dude.
I'll reiterate something that I've said earlier.
Yeah.
No,
No.
Not until maybe once she loses her looks, dude.
Yeah, I wonder if she's going to come back after this, because she said, "Good job knowing how to take what you give out. Well done, we won." I don't understand that.
Well, she thought you were being mean instead of just making a harmless fucking joke. Like, she took it really personally, and I don't know how you meant it, but it seemed to me like it was a pretty innocuous.
Just lighthearted, like, maybe instead or something, you know.
It wasn't a fucking. She took it like it was a vicious attack on her or something, dude.
It seems a bit like more, like middle groundish, like the one you're showing me right here.
Oh no, the last one I left it off with this man. Now you're just boring and a little sad now. Because I just was like,
pretty accurate, dude.
I'm not going to keep responding. It's like,
or no, I think I actually went to her page and went through a few of them, and I'm like, yeah, you're fucking dumb and not interesting.
Mean or something?
Yeah, well, it was just nothing interesting. It was that's where I got the feeling. I was like, yeah, she thinks she's funny because guys that want to fuck her laugh at her dumbass fucking lame jokes, dude.
Man, you took this harder than I did, because I was just like...
Yeah. No, I just found it interesting, dude. I was like, why is she... Like, I didn't get it, dude. That's why it was confusing to me.
I think the internet's not for everybody. Like, forums, so you're going to deal with a lot of people. Especially with text, a lot of times people don't mean to come off as mean or as harsh as they might sound.
Yeah.
But, like, sometimes it's fucking obvious.
Right.
I try
like it's, and it could be because I know you and maybe she doesn't, that she took it that fucking wrong. But yeah,
I was like, follow her. I didn't even know where I started following her from either. So I don't remember. Yeah. There must have been some funny, because I only follow people who tweet stuff.
So then who's the dumb?
Oh, I think she sent you the penis shaped fish, or she retweeted the penis shaped fish thing. I know that.
Oh, maybe that's what I fucking
You stole my heart at penis shaped fish.
Yeah. Well, I only follow people who are like entertaining or funny or make like either really stupid points politically or really interesting points.
Then why do you follow me?
And you know where I live.
Your grandfather did.
I might get in trouble. You come over here in the middle of the night and fucking stab me to death.
There you go. I'm not the quiet psychotic one. I am the normally talkative psychotic one.
The harder one's to spot, dude.
I need to
keep your eye on that dude.
I gotta stop doing. I have a big knife that I scratch my back with, so I'm like, I really need to at some point get a real back scratcher.
That's insanity.
The knife is about as big as
scratching my back, slicing it up. It's like, oh, that's
dude. I just use a big fork. It works a lot better than a knife, I think.
Well, I keep the sheath on. Let me make that clear.
Yeah.
So you're not like shaving off like layers of skin as you scrape your back.
That's the stuff.
Yeah.
That's right there. Shaving it clean off.
The knife is more made for like chopping, so the blade is not quite as sharp as that. I mean, you can still cut yourself if you rub your thumb on it or something. But it's not super sharp.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, that's me almost all the time. Like that first cup of coffee just like gets me wrong.
Good luck with that Hakanaro.
Well, that's just standard for coffee. Like that always happened to me. After I drink a cup of coffee, you'd be like, "Oh, time to take a shit."
That's the thing. You have. I always want to take care of that in the morning because nothing's worse than taking a shower and then taking a dump.
Oh my god!
Yeah, because it's like,
that's the worst.
Yeah. So I know that's probably a very talked about, very joked about kind of concept, but it's still very true.
Nobody likes dirty.
No.
Well, I'm sure somebody, but
yeah, some people are probably into a dirty butthole. Yeah.
That's
you know what else used to do it to me too? Was like cigarettes. If I'd smoke a cigarette after a meal, I would almost always have to take a shit afterwards.
Interesting.
It was really weird.
Because does it actually like help out?
I don't know. It could have been just psychological too.
Maybe. Mm-hmm. Body routinely just goes, man, I really have to get shit out of my body.
Oh, we already talked about Charlottesville at the beginning, Miggy.
Oh, yeah, Miggy. We covered it.
You missed out on the party.
Yeah.
And our whole point was the whole thing was a fuck up from beginning to end.
Yeah.
It's scary left wing. government did the standard, like, get the police in there and then pull them out and let the Antifa beat up on the right-wing people. And then this dumb kid fucking decides to go do the worst thing he could possibly choose to do, and it's all pretty sad, man. My heart goes out to the families of the people that were injured and the person who was killed. And this kid's going to go to jail and he's going to pay for the crime he committed. I mean, that's all there is to it. Although the one thing I think is kind of like bizarre is you see a lot of people trying to claim that he was actually like Antifa and just like fucking missed. Like he was
I heard that at first too.
I keep hearing it. I don't think it's true.
Yeah, it seems unlikely.
Like they're just trying to muddy the water to take some of the heat off because everybody's super angry. But the real tragedy, in like a week, nobody's going to give half a shit. Like everybody tried to make all their political fucking capital off it. All these senators and pieces of shit in the government were like, "Oh yeah, I want more votes. I better say this or that or the other thing." And in like a week, none of them are going to give half a fuck.
Yeah, move on to the next thing.
Like $5-10 grand in funeral costs. So let's hope they get at least some sort of fundraising to pay for the funeral at the very least. Out of it.
Yeah. Now, did you see the thing where that his mom found out about what happened but when CNN showed up at her fucking house?
Wait,
the
what?
drivers, the mom of the kid that drove through it and killed everybody, or killed and injured people. That they went. CNN showed up at her house and she hadn't heard anything about it and didn't know what had happened until they brought it up to her at her fucking house.
You know what? If anybody needs to be run over by a car, it's the fucking CNN reporters. What the fuck are they at her house for?
They're like, "Oh, you didn't know about it. But they still went on with the fucking,
Nice, real classy. Like, that's got to be a hell of a news, hell of a news, for the mother. That's got to be.
The one thing I suppose is at least it wasn't like a premeditated like shooting or something like that. It was a crime of passion, but like, he's 20 years old. He's a fucking dummy. Probably freaked out, got really angry, and just decided to he was going to deal with it, and had, just no real anger management ability, I guess, obviously.
Right.
You have to be pretty fucking irrational to decide to fucking run people over with your car because they're fighting.
Like that's definitely...
You got to remember when you're 20, you're not anywhere near the, have the capability of keeping your emotions in check,
to be clear, we're not trying to excuse the kid. Like, he's obviously
right,
bad guy here. He's going to jail as he should.
Yeah, there's no.
But again, you did raise an interesting question earlier of like if the cops hadn't bailed, does that still happen?
Yeah, I think there's a fair chance that if the cops had stayed there instead of taking off and basically leaving everything to go into a shitstorm, if they'd stayed and done their jobs, or they'd gotten the National Guard in to do to really keep the group separated.
Right. Because no matter how hot-headed that kid is, if there's a bunch of cops around, I don't see him doing it. But again, that's very possible that it would have happened anyway.
Yeah, that part's debatable because you could be like, you can't. I mean,
20/20 hindsight.
Yeah, it's like
right.
Kept hindsight. You could say whatever the fuck you want.
No, absolutely.
If they would have showed up, they should showed up. Maybe aliens could have attacked them. It's obviously being a little extreme there, but it's more along the lines of.
I get the point, dude.
There's really been people who less got hurt.
Yeah, well, substantially less people would have gotten hurt for sure if the police had stayed. One thing I think though is I think the right wing people who are dealing with these Antifa people and getting into these things are going about it the absolute worst possible way. Antifa is a hate group. Black Lives Matter is a hate group, and consistently, what's worked against hate groups in the past is taking away their money. Nice. And that means suing them for what they're doing, which is a crime, which is assaulting people and trying to take away their freedom of speech. Sue the group. The groups are openly advocating violence. They're openly planning it.
Yeah.
And they're openly fundraising for it, and that leaves them open to be sued by these groups that they're attacking and get all of their money. And you know what? With the KKK is a fucking joke now.
Yeah, they have no fucking.
And it's because the government and private entities went after all of their money in court.
Right.
All the KKK is funding away, and what do you know? No, KKK basically a laughing stock at this point.
Yeah.
And that's the way.
Yeah. And now they're taking in minorities and gay people and whoever will join.
Sue Antifa, and you can sue whoever is the name on because that money goes into an account somewhere, and somebody owns that account for all these funds.
Right.
You know, and that's you go empty those fucking accounts, or at the very least get them frozen for as long as you can, and watch the group fall apart. Because without that fucking money, they're gonna fall apart. Like,
and I kind of like what you were saying earlier, man. I'd like to see the cops get sued for bailing like that too.
Oh, I think they really need to go after the Department of Justice needs to go after the mayors and the other city officials.
Yeah.
You can't. I think you can't really go after like the cops themselves.
Right. Whoever's giving the orders, dude. Whoever's giving the fucking orders.
You could go to the top of the food chain, the mayor or the city lieutenant or whatever it is, whoever is giving out that order to withdraw in this case.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. Yeah.
Depends on how high on the food chain it goes.
Yeah.
Well, in Berkeley, we know it went all the way up to the mayor.
Yeah, we do know that for a fact. That was definitely the mayor who made all that happen, planned it out, and has many financial and personal ties to the Antifa leadership.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Although this is only tangentially, whatever that word is, connected. But did you see the fucking video that was put out by, I think it was Boston Antifa, about how Cracker Barrel was racist because they have rocking chairs?
I don't.
He literally put out a video. You put out a video saying because they have rocking. You you guys have Cracker Barrel restaurants where you guys are at?
No, I don't think we do, but I've heard of them. I have an idea of what they are.
It's a restaurant. I actually really like it. Like me and my son, it's like one of our favorite restaurants. It's got like old timey type food or whatever, and a bunch of old shit on the walls. And then like they have a separate little store section that sells a bunch of like old candies, like what are those fucking things? They look like Reese's peanut butter cups, but they're filled with like marshmallow and coconut, Mallow Mars or something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
But anyways, shit like that you don't get anywhere else anymore. But yeah, and they have rocking chairs they sell out front. They have fucking rocking chairs. And he's trying to claim that because out of all the people in all civilizations that have sitting on rocking chairs, there might have been some slave owners that sat on rocking chairs. So therefore, Cracker Barrel's racist for having rocking chairs.
That makes my brain hurt.
It's fucking ridiculous, dude. They're like, well, they might have sat on the porch in a rocking chair and watched their slaves work, so Cracker Barrel's racist because of that.
Ooh. That's that's just like I
don't think I would want to watch a bunch of people working like that.
Mm-hmm.
In all honesty, if I owned slaves, I'd rather see a better, like a view with less work and less like boring farmland. I'd rather see like some nice trees and like a pond or something. I'm not making that better. I'm just saying. Like,
that's like
most.
Yeah. I'm glad that's what you got out of the story, Stabby.
Yeah, I just like trying to let's try to make this nice.
I just doubt they would sit in their rocking chairs to watch the
story. Whether they did or not, dude. I think the people from all walks of life have fucking used rocking chairs, dude, for many different purposes.
Yeah.
So I thought it was ridiculous that he tried to tie that to being fucking racist.
We have a rocking chair in my house. I think we're gonna have to start burning crosses in the yard.
Yeah.
Oh, it's somebody else's
yard?
You
don't do it on your own yard because that means you have to.
It seemed like a kind of a fun party.
Well,
everybody can hang out, toast marshmallows on the burning cross.
That sounds like a really
the white people anyway.
We're all being racist. So let's have a racism
Everywhere
party.
you're pointing at.
Woohoo. We all like KKK attire. That's
Pointy
required.
hat decorating.
Although, would you really want to roast white marshmallows
No. Yeah.
if you're racist?
Yeah.
And then you have a pointy white hat decorating contest, like who has the coolest pointy white hat. Is that not how it works? Am I racisting right yet?
Oh, fuck.
The how-to to racism.
Oh, man. Oh. Do we have like a charades for like coming up with racial slurs?
Oh, God.
Well, let's all get our handbooks out. You know, all of us white people have a racist handbook, so let's leaf through it and find out the answer.
Goodbye, Miggy. I'm sorry you're leaving at the point in time. Stabby just loses it.
Thanks for stopping by, Miggy.
Night, Miggy. Oh, jeez.
Oh, man. I like the idea that actually the racist slur fucking charades. That's
I just
picture a lot of people holding their eyes and like doing that like Asian eye thing, like that really shitty one where you put your eyes and say,
Oh my god, dude.
Oh god.
You need a lot of that kind of shit, and just everybody going like, God damn, this is awkward.
No, I just walk up holding a bag of saltine crackers. It's like, what do you got?
Have a party where you invite a bunch of people from all the races. And then do charades, but don't tell anybody that everything in the charades thing where you like draw a thing out as a racist slur of some kind.
That would make a great YouTube video. Fucking
like it starts with
everybody's reactions.
It starts with cracker, and then everybody's like, "Oh, like a cracker, okay," and then but then it starts getting into like the more worse ones, and suddenly
How do we act out the word kike? I have no idea how to do that.
Kike, maybe they misspelled kite. I don't know.
Like, oh, God.
You have to start out with pretending you're flying a kite, and you're like, close. And then point to like your nose. Like, big nose. Close. I kind of hate myself for having a solution to that problem.
You pretend to pick up penny.
Oh, yeah.
Mocking, pretending to pick cotton. Hey, Florida. Oh, man. Can you imagine doing that in like a college now where like there's one of the
Jesus.
colleges?
You'll be thrown off instantly.
We're gonna do a hold on, an improv show. Then we're gonna start off with charades.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude!
Along with us. See how long before they just riot.
Yeah.
Or people start crying and running out of the room.
Tarred and feathered and ran out of town.
Man. This would be the worst ever.
No, it's the worst ever. It'd be like, or the best ever. No.
I feel like that would be really funny though. Like to me, not to anyone else.
Well, to you, you'd be having a blast.
Oh my god! I would just the reactions alone would be the funniest. It would be fucking hilarious. I would love to see the looks on people's faces as they slowly realize what's really going on.
Yeah,
it'd be fucking priceless, dude.
It's always funny until someone gets stabbed.
Well, there'd be people like, yeah, I'm gonna see you in the parking lot later. That happens to comedians though, like just not even for offensive jokes. There's some people who just get really mad at comedians, and like because they're like performing at a small club or something, there's no real security. They'll just go out to the parking lot and somebody be out there like, I'm gonna kick your ass now. And usually, and the comedian be just like, well, apparently, because I ain't really that good at fighting. So I've heard a couple comedians talking about it on like podcasts and shit, and they're like, yeah, I'm not a fighter, so you're waiting after the show to beat me up. You're gonna win. Good for you.
Or if you're like Bobby Lee, you get fucking clocked while you're still on stage.
Oh, you get punched out on stage? That guy stuff can be really offensive. He kind of goes after the audience sometimes. So.
Well, no, apparently there was somebody, the story was there was somebody in the audience, like a Mexican dude, was like almost every joke he made, the Mexican dude was making like these ching ching chang ching chang chang, like fucking making that kind of noise at him.
Subtle.
And then fucking Bobby Lee came back, and he was like kind of just joking with him, right? And he was like, "Orale!" He's like, "Look, I'm digging a ditch," or he did, Bobby Lee said something like that,
Yeah.
And then fucking he goes back to telling his joke, and apparently the dude just fucking came up and blindsided him, dude, and fucking sucker punched him and knocked him out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you're walking into that, walking in doing that, you're gonna probably get clocked. Like,
I feel bad for the guy, but at the same time,
no,
you gotta accept that when you go after the audience, they might come back after you. And
Yeah. Well, I mean, the audience guy was fucking with him, was doing the racial shit first. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, in that case, that guy's got out of line.
Yeah, the dude was heckling him, doing the ching chong fucking shit, dude.
Yeah.
And then when he fucking did that back at the dude pretending to be Mexican, saying, "Oh, look, I'm eating a ditch," or
If you're gonna start harassing a comic on stage, you're a fucking idiot.
yeah, dude.
They do this
they roast
all
people
the time.
Yeah,
all across the country.
Yeah.
If you think you're gonna come out on top,
yeah. Responding to heckles is the one thing that they are the most prepared for, dude. Yeah, they fucking love taking people down.
even the super clean comics like Brian Regan or like what's that other guy that does all the stories about Hot Pockets?
Oh, Gaffigan.
Yeah,
Jim
Jim
Gaffigan.
Gaffigan. You're looking at me blankly, but he got it.
Oh no, I'm sitting there thinking like, Hot Pockets. I should know.
But they're like super clean Americana,
Yeah.
like kind of comics. Even those guys could just
tear
people to pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys are like even them. It's like I wouldn't want to mess. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in the audience and start fucking going after like Jim Gaffigan. I bet he'd fucking make me look like a moron.
Yeah, all of them are set to fucking respond to that bullshit, dude.
Yeah. Well, because you have to. You got like even if it's just a crowd of like 40 or 50 people, and one guy's ruining it for 40 or 50 other people, you gotta fucking shut them down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit talker, man. Like that's what they do. Like,
Well, and also,
It's really good. It was Jimmy Carr. You know Jimmy Carr, the guy from England?
oh, that guy. That's all he does. Like that guy.
Yeah. He's fucking awesome at it, dude.
Oh yeah, I can run him up. Yeah, Jimmy Carr is brutal. I would never fucking.
Oh shit! Did you type that before I said that?
I don't know if he did or not.
Oh shit!
I'm
I'm not stealing the shit. I actually came up with that. I was thinking of Greg Giraldo. He was really good at it too before he fucking died or whatever.
I really liked Greg Giraldo. It was very unfortunate when he passed.
Oh yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Like when he had that slew of like being on those roast.
Oh my god, dude.
Like
he was fucking amazing on the roast, dude.
Oh my god.
Like his shit was just funny. And all of his shit was funny in my opinion. But yeah, the roast, you fucking killed that, dude.
Because that killed me because like that's all he got. He never got a big show or anything like that. And I feel like man, out of all of them, he deserved it more than anyone. Like he was
although again he fucked a lot of he
threw
away a lot of shit too by being a fucking fuck up drug addict, dude.
Yeah, that too.
But because Comedy Central, apparently all the other comedians fucking kind of were resentful because Comedy Central tried really hard to make that guy a star, dude.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, ugh, fucking Comedy Central gives that guy fucking everything.
Well, I mean,
but yeah.
Hollywood is you never know what's going to make money, and you just can't anticipate like who's going to get big and who's not. I mean.
Yeah, but he was so goddamn funny, man. Or Patrice O'Neal really didn't get as big as he should have been. That motherfucker was hilarious too.
He died way too early. I mean, he had a very long career. He had a brilliant career, but he didn't have a very long one.
Yeah, but honestly, probably one of the fucking most naturally funny people ever, dude.
Oh yeah, that guy was.
Yeah. Because, apparently a lot of times he would just go up on stage and just bullshit. Like, he didn't even have anything planned, dude. He just fucking, and he was just funny, dude.
That's what I would do. I don't think I would have a plan going up on stage. I would just hope that, like, panic would fuel me.
Somehow some comedy would come pouring out of you.
My comedy comes out of sheer terror.
Yeah, but, like, what's the last time you shit your pants? Because mine is about to be in 5 minutes.
Any second now. Damn. But yeah, hey, Engelhardt, do you know Greg Giraldo's like his kind of his story about how he came into being being a comic?
I remember seeing, like, after he died, they kind of did a thing for him.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, the Give It Up for Greg Giraldo
yeah.
thing.
So
Yeah.
I watched that, but it's been a minute.
Yeah. But for any of you guys that don't know, he's a fucking genius. Like, he's a really intelligent guy. Like, he graduated from Columbia University and then went to Harvard and got a law degree from Harvard. Worked as a lawyer for maybe a few months and fucking just gave that up to fucking become a stand-up comic.
That's definitely a career shift.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. Like, he's fucking.
You guys, you seen The Hangover?
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know the weird Asian guy that they accidentally take hostage in the cop car?
Oh yeah.
Drunk?
Yeah.
That dude's a real doctor.
Mhm.
Like,
No
he was
shit.
legit a real doctor that became a comedic actor.
Wait, is that Ken Jeong?
Yeah, Ken Jeong.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
It's funny as hell. Like, he's just naturally hilarious.
Yeah, he plays an actual doctor in the one with Seth Rogen and the Heigl bitch. Knocked Up.
Like, he was a legit doctor with a license who practiced.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Gave it up to be a comedic actor.
That's nuts, dude.
And clearly made the right choice.
Yeah.
Right. Although, yeah, apparently just a regular doctor gets paid nowadays is kind of shit. Like, you almost have to be a specialist or something to actually make any kind of money.
You're probably still making a leap above a lot.
I think doctors are still making pretty good money.
Yeah.
You should see.
Yeah, I
nurses.
don't know.
That's the shit. Like, if you get a good situation as a nurse,
Oh,
especially
yeah?
being a traveling nurse.
Oh, yeah.
Nurses
Fuck
make
yeah.
a lot of money, especially if you're willing to go like a good distance to get hired on.
Mhm.
Like, you walk
So I
out.
just have to like wear the outfit and suck dick really good. I mean, that's
That's a bedside manner right there.
Yeah, man.
that's not the kind of traveling nurse you're talking about, right?
Yeah, I think even not being a traveling nurse, they make what, 30, 40 bucks an hour?
Yeah, but you can get up to about $100 an hour if you're doing a traveling nurse. Like, you can
Yeah.
get a solid fucking day.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
at some point or another, you're gonna have to clean out somebody's poop.
All right.
Mm.
And
Yeah, maybe.
something I cannot handle.
Depends on where you're at.
Well, hopefully you can dodge that. ER is a wild world, man.
No, mine is, like, legitimately. The one thing that I will vomit if I have to deal with somebody else's vomit,
Mhm.
like all over the place.
Yeah, that one's tough, dude.
Bad reflex. That if I smelt spoiled food, I would throw up. Like, that's the one thing I can't handle. I just like somebody's poop or somebody's vomit.
It's a sad thought that you
throw
end
it
up
up.
getting used to it a little bit. Like
Mhm.
anything. Like, you just kind of
Yeah, have a
it's like,
kid, dude. You know, you'll be fine.
I gotta say
That'll
that's
cure
like
your
50%
food
of
and
me.
vomit thing real quick.
What's that?
That's like 50% of me not wanting to ever have kids. In all honesty.
It's actually, dude, I never did any of that shit before I had a kid of my own.
I'm just
It's a
gonna
lot
throw up.
easier when it's your kid.
There's gonna be like a baby. It's gonna spit up on me, and I'm gonna throw back up on the baby, and it's gonna grow up confused. and something wrong.
Why does Daddy keep throwing up on me?
Baby scarred for life, right out of the gate, dude.
Sorry,
He fucking
I was just a picture of my head.
Oh,
It's
dear.
not gross for some reason. I guess in my head it's safe if my brain makes it.
I'm just imagining there like a small child going like, "I ate something funny," blah, and then Stabby's just sitting there going like, "Oh no!" It's just like, and they both, since it would be his own, he probably the small child has a bad gag reflex too. So it's just like a small child vomiting, and then the kid vomits, and he.
There's
vomits.
a way to make this work for me, though. Right? There's a way to make this work, and there's a way to make this like save money.
It's called not having children.
No, check it out. So you just eat like 30 minutes before you know the kid's going to make you puke, and then you puke in the kid's mouth, and it's like feeding.
Damn, dude. Bring your child up as a bird, a baby bird.
Baby birding.
You're transgender, dude. Go with this trans species. It's much safer.
Oh my God, there was a scene in Scary Movie 2 at the beginning. I assume that's where like people just making each other puke over and over. The fucking Scary Movie, the best part of the Scary Movies were always like the cum jokes. Like it was always like at some point there'd be like some dude who was way backed up or like hadn't had sex in a while. And then like the chick would just be blasted into the ceiling by the load, or like
there's some clogging in the pipe.
Those were all funny because it was just like a geyser of semen blowing the chick into like a door wall. I don't know why that's funny to me, but
because you have a very
No, it always works, dude.
yeah.
Yeah. Although the vomit thing reminded me of that scene in Stand By Me where he's telling the story about the pie eating contest.
Oh, that is fucking classic. I love that.
It's so disturbing, dude. It's fucking awesome.
Dude cracks like a dozen eggs into his mouth and then fucking drinks a bunch of castor oil before the fucking contest show.
Oh, wait, has somebody not seen Stand By Me?
Yeah.
That sounds.
Yeah. Remember he like prepared for the pie eating contest by eating a dozen eggs raw and drinking a bottle of castor oil.
Why?
So he would fucking throw up on everybody.
Because he knew it would make him throw up.
Oh. Why?
Oh, so the whole thing was like...
What's the whole concept of this?
Yeah. He was a big fat guy that everybody made fun of. Have you not seen this?
No, I've not seen this movie.
Holy shit. That's a fucking classic, dude. But yeah, he was a big fat kid that everybody made fun of, like, constantly. So it was him getting his revenge, basically.
Oh, okay.
So Stand By Me is a movie that you have to see.
Apparently, I have to see this movie. I have struck a chord with both of you not seeing this movie.
Yeah, this was from shit, in like the 80s, wasn't it? It had a young Corey Feldman, River Phoenix.
Good Lord, your True Blood collection.
Who else? Jerry O'Connell.
Jerry O'Connell?
When he was a little fat kid. And Richard Dreyfuss did like the voiceover.
Oh, it's just star-studded. It's essentially, it's one of the best, what would you call it, style of movie? Like
coming of age tale?
Coming of age, like...
Oh, wait, who else was in the adult brothers and shit were pretty well known too. Like, what was it, Kiefer Sutherland was one of them, I think? Remember when they're going to see the dead body or whatever?
Oh, well, my other movies are...
Fuck, I gotta look this up now.
Yeah, I don't know how you can not see Stand By Me. It's one of the best movies ever made.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, hold on, I gotta look this up because I know the fucking...
Oh, just wait.
No, I'm not gonna. You probably wouldn't want to watch it anyway.
Yeah, it wasn't quite. Fuck! I just blanked on the movie I was gonna fucking say. The one with fucking with Ralph Macchio, or fucking
Kid,
Pony Boy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about? Huh?
Karate Kid.
No, the other one, dude. It's got a bunch of stars in it too. It's the one where it's him and C. Thomas Howell, where they accidentally kill a guy and they're on the run or whatever.
The only movie I've ever seen with Ralph Macchio is Karate Kid. I'm not joking.
Holy shit, dude! Will Wheaton was in Stand By Me. Oh yeah, Will Wheaton was one of them. He's the one telling the story about the fat kid. I forgot about that. Hold on, dude. Hold on, I'm gonna find it.
So filmography.
We're going to the great Google machine.
Oh, you talking about The Outsiders?
Yes, I thought that was the wrong one. I was thinking of that, but
yeah, he played Johnny Cage.
All right. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
In fact, I think I have
that one had a lot of well-known. Who was in that? Tom Cruise was in that. Patrick Swayze was in The Outsiders. A lot of really well-known actors.
Thomas Howell. Leif Garrett. Tom Waits. I don't think any of the other people were really well known. Oh, Rob Lowe was in it. Emilio Estevez. I don't know who Glenn Withrow is. But I think the reason that had such a star set is I believe The Outsiders was originally like either a book or a novel. Yeah, it was a novel by S.E. Hinton.
Oh, gotcha.
Mind you, he's like reading the Wikipedia page for The Outsiders.
Yeah, The Outsiders is a movie. I'm sure a lot of people are like, I got no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. John Cusack was in Stand By Me? I don't remember John Cusack in Stand By Me.
John Cusack played the main character's older brother. Will Wheaton was the main character.
Oh, yeah. He's the one that
And he's the one.
Wait, is he the one that supposedly died, right?
And the whole thing starts because the kid's dealing with the loss of his older brother in the war.
Yeah. Okay, that's right. Okay, now I remember. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So River Phoenix, Will Wheaton, Corey Feldman, Gary O'Connell, Kiefer Sutherland.
Essentially, Stand By Me. There was a book that it's not based on the book, but it's essentially the same. It's sort of like exploring the same theme. It's not Of Mice and Men. It's not Grapes of Wrath, but it's a book about a kid whose brother dies, and he has to deal with the fact that everybody liked his brother more than him.
Mm.
And he's like super depressed, and he kind of wants to kill himself. And I can't remember the name of it, but it's one of those things that everybody reads it in high school and then forgets about it.
Damn it.
Just don't want any part of it. It's one of those assigned readings, so everyone's just like, fine. There's always the one or two people, maybe three people in that class who are like, oh my god, I get to read this book. This is amazing. I've read it 3 times.
The Body by Stephen King?
No, it's definitely not that.
No, that's what it says here, dude. It's Wikipedia. It can't possibly be wrong.
No. The movie I'm talking about, the movie was based on a Stephen King book. I knew that, yeah.
Okay, I gotcha.
Based on that, but the whole concept of Stephen King's book is really kind of like a takeoff or an extension of another book.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And I can't think of the name of it offhand. It's really getting to me. I know these are little kids' books. Oh, this is going to bother the shit out of me.
Well, I'm trying to find it, dude. Research. Okay. So what else is new?
Oh, I know what we need to look at. Books we all read in high school.
Quick, somebody had filler.
Yeah, somebody talk.
Not
What do you think you're here for, man?
my fabulous good looks
Oh.
and my soft, sensual voice.
So
That's all I'm here for.
Classic books you read in high school.
That's all it keeps me around for.
To Kill a Mockingbird, like we've all read that. Great Gatsby. I never read The Great Gatsby. Mice and Men.
Let's see. Now I'm going to say, what? You haven't read The Great Gatsby?
No.
Yeah, that one's actually pretty decent, dude. That's a good one.
This is the one, Catcher in the Rye.
Shit, have I read Catcher in the Rye?
Holden Caulfield.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, Holden Caulfield. All right. Yeah, that's a pretty
Yeah, and I think he has
pretty well-known literary character.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, his brother, he's dealing with the brother's death throughout the whole thing. Unless I'm thinking of a different book. I read a lot of books, so. But it's one of those ones that everybody's read in high school, and essentially Stephen King was like a take on the same basic kind of story. Coming of age, dealing with death, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Some connection.
Yeah. It's nice how many classic literary things we've worked into the last couple episodes. So I think I brought up The Grapes of Wrath last time.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I can't remember what we were talking about, but and then I wasn't even sure if it was the right one I was thinking of. Actually, I never did check on that. Let me see.
But no, it's interesting because it's like.
Yeah, Steinbeck. Yeah, okay.
Cough right in the microphone.
Like cough, gag, wheeze.
Right.
Well, I guess I did a throw-uppy noise, so that's not too bad. So,
Well, there might be a little bit of a cold going around the house, so.
Yeah.
If you feel the
Right. Okay, The Grapes of Wrath. It at least was the right movie I was thinking.
all I smell is death. Sure. Give me some vitamin C.
But like somebody was, I forget who was saying, but there's like a certain number of what do you call it, like basic concepts for stories that we basically go through tropes.
All right.
Term is or something. Here, I
Yeah, like it's the same themes, just kind of regurgitated in a different way, basically.
Yeah.
Archetypes and tropes.
Yeah, there's a certain number of like types of stories that you can tell, and a certain number of archetypes that you can tell.
Yeah. Or types of characters and that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's interesting. Like the Stephen King's novel and Stand By Me is sort of a lot of similar themes to Catcher in the Rye, and a lot of similarity. In other words, it's like it's very obviously inspired by, like one of his inspirations is probably J.D. Salinger and Catcher in the Rye and stuff like that. He wrote his own take on it. Oh, McKiernan. There's an author, McKiernan, who basically it's the Iron Tower is the name of the series, but he rewrote the Lord of the Rings series, but with different types of characters, like different races in some cases, and making it a whole way more in-depth, way more adult style story. But
way more in-depth than Lord of the Rings?
Oh, it's yeah, but it's much more adult and like goes into much more.
Oh, I gotcha.
Oh,
Akinara's leaving. Yeah. All right, we'll see you. Thanks for hanging out.
Dennis L. McKiernan is the name of the author, and it's a great set of books because he also goes to he writes like a prequel essentially that's nothing like The Hobbit, but it's a prequel that sets up the whole thing. But he takes the basic beats of the stories, just the basic beats and some of the basic concepts, and just fleshes them out into much more interesting and much more detailed and much more graphic and adult sort of things. Yes, we know we've been recorded as terrorists.
What if we try another shot at a lullaby? Will that be enough to not report us as terrorists?
I don't know if that's a good
I'll refrain from singing this time, and we might get through it.
What lullaby should we sing?
Yeah, I don't know. One I know the words to.
I know Rockabye Baby.
So I'm gonna have to Google whatever one it is, dude.
Oh, God.
So essentially, this has just become Stabby is singing Akinara a lullaby, and that's not weird.
Yeah, I never did the lullabies. Anytime my kid couldn't sleep, I just gave him shots of NyQuil. Oh my god! I shouldn't make that joke. Like I make that joke all the time, and to other people. Hey, just give your kid a shot of NyQuil, and they're like, "No." I'm like, "It was a fucking joke." Yeah.
Another babysitter in a bottle.
Right.
My joke. I forget who made it, but it's definitely a joke from a comedian.
This is like, I need a couple nights sleep. Here, take this. Thank you.
NyQuil used to have a little bit of liquor in it too. It really did help you sleep.
I think it still does, dude.
You might be able to still get it in some places, but like California, no, definitely not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, here it's still alcohol, dude. It's still pretty high alcohol content, dude.
Here you have to fucking show your ID for like real Sudafed.
Oh no, they need that here too, because they make meth with it, right? Yeah. No, it's meth is fucking huge here in Southwest Maine, where I live. I know it's fucking Arizona. I think everybody knows that by now that's listening.
Meth is huge everywhere now.
Yeah, but it's been huge here since like the fucking early '90s, dude. Like Arizona is a place where it originally kind of blew up, dude.
Yeah, it's like the Midwest and like Hawaii is where it really. I think the coastal areas are still more like weed and cocaine and heroin chic.
But yeah, no, I remember like when I went to my first rehab, the entire time I was there for 6 weeks, people leaving when I first got there, people coming in when I was leaving. Only one person was in there in my rehab for meth the entire time I was there. Yeah, and that was back east. Well, the rehab was in Florida, so most people were from back east somewhere. So yeah, it definitely wasn't big anywhere back there yet.
Well, I mean, at this point, like I'm saying, like
it's everywhere. Yeah, now it's everywhere.
One of the bigger problems that I guess people have is there's a way to make meth in just like a water bottle. but it's volatile, so like it can be really dangerous and explode and catch people on fire.
Yeesh.
And so like they have a problem with people like leaving the chemicals out or fucking blowing them up while they're fucking walking around in the street.
Generally being fucking tweakers.
Yeah.
If you're gonna cook meth, don't use meth, dude. This is kind of a rule of thumb, Well,
and then there's bath salts, which are essentially meth, but like slightly changed by one or two molecules.
Yeah. Dude, that's crazy how they can get away with that shit. Like, they are basically, as soon as one gets shut down or banned, they have something that's just a little bit different that's ready to go.
As long as it's a slightly different chemical, they can sell it again.
Yeah. It's crazy, man.
Well, it's like the patent trolling lawsuits, if you think about it. Like, that should not be allowed, but like people could still claim the rights to stuff they had nothing to do with, and they know they had nothing to do with.
Yeah. That is such a horrible...
in court for years and years and years.
Yeah. Well, they tried to do that with podcasts. Somebody tried to claim like all podcasts owed them royalties, dude.
Yeah. It's the most absurd thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like someone who has way too much free time on their hands.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they tried to claim that they invented podcast, and so anybody who makes one now owes them money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, Adam Carolla is fucking...
Yeah. Is that still going on, or did it finally get decided?
It got settled out. Eventually, the case was settled. And we don't know any of the details, but nobody's being charged for money of any kind. So
we dubbed them full
essentially, my guess is he paid them a token fee, and they withdrew the claim entirely because they realized eventually
they weren't going to fucking win. Yeah.
Yeah. And that he was willing to fight it as long as that he could. So people were willing to fund it.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm glad he did that because that was pretty
far more than it would have, been worth to potentially win, and that they might not even win.
Right.
It might just cost them a lot of money. Which you have to have patent trolls, and it's, why things like, some of these laws need to be addressed, and like Title 19. Is either Title 9 or Title 19, or both of them need to go. I can't remember which.
Yeah.
Just like the way they're set up, they're just inviting lawsuits. So if a small company like store doesn't have the right kind of ramp and all these things that they couldn't possibly afford in the first place,
right?
You can go and sue them for all their money and just shut them down, essentially.
Yeah. Like your tiny little mom and pop store doesn't have a wheelchair accessible ramp. I'm gonna sue you.
Yeah. Even though it's not up any stairs, and you can just wheel right through the door.
Right.
You don't have to have a ramp.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous, man. Or the doors aren't wide enough or something for a fucking wheelchair. Some crazy shit.
Is, yeah, it's nice to say that, people should do that, but you shouldn't require it. I don't think that's right.
Right. Yeah, it is kind of ridiculous, man.
Depending on what it is.
Well, you should if it's something that's like a necessity.
Yeah.
You should be able to access the hospital.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. It's like not so much, but
any government buildings certainly, dude. Pretty much any government building.
And the majority of major businesses are going to want to be handicap accessible because it makes them look good.
Yeah, exactly.
So yes, they'll make more money, but also they'll make more money just from looking like the good guy.
From positive public image or whatever. But yeah, you got a little. Again, mom and pop type places where that's going to eat in to their fucking business costs too much and fucking shut them down.
It's such an old building that they'd have to rebuild the entire building in order to make it accessible. It's like sometimes to expect.
Interesting thing, given usually a lot of people end up shifting for that anyways, like to try to be accessible. But it's like sometimes it's not so clear cut.
There's a lot of stuff I don't think the government should be involved in, just because all it does is give people an excuse to sue other people for money.
We're sue happy.
Yeah,
we like suing other people.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was really happy when Trump basically shot down all the bathroom laws, because it's like we don't need laws about people using the bathroom. Like that's just more reasons for people to sue.
Yeah, and
people work this out and figure out where they're all happy. And you know, the companies that are shitty and treat people like shit, they're going to lose business, and they're going to have to either change their attitude or go out of business. You know, that's how it's supposed to work, and it was working just fine for years and years and years.
Yeah, I never understood the bathroom thing because I assumed this whole time that is what had been happening. Is people that were men dressed as women that passed as women were using the women's restroom anyway, or vice versa, and it hadn't really been a problem.
Yeah, I worked at
and then they fucking made it a problem because people wanted to fucking grandstand about stupid shit.
You know, I've worked at a gas station, I've worked at a grocery store, and I've worked at a tire shop. And oddly enough, at none of those places did we ever police who went to which bathroom.
Right.
And never fucking humanity came up because nobody cared.
Never walked up and like, I gotta check under the hood.
Yeah, no.
Prove to me you have a cock or don't have a cock.
Immaculately dressed tranny that would come into the gas station like every Friday at like 8 o'clock or something, like a weird schedule. And she, I don't know which way to go, but just immaculately dressed to the nines, like out for a party or something, like in business attire, oddly.
Huh.
Would show up and use the bathroom like every single week at a certain time. I always assumed it was drugs. Well, because, you know, it's not like you're going to have to pee at that exact same time every single week.
You just have your bladder timing.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Okay. They have a party to go to, but they got to shoot up heroin first.
Yeah.
A little cup of Coke or fucking smoking.
That's the thing, because that means they really liked your bathroom. They're like, no. I have to take my bump of Coke in that bathroom. That's my Coke bumping type bathroom right there.
That's a clean bathroom, dude. It's only a gas station that cleans their bathrooms.
So having worked at a gas station, I will tell you this. If you think it's cute or funny to put lipstick on and kiss the mirror,
oh no.
Haha, joke's on you. We only have one brush to scrub the bathroom with.
Oh,
Jesus, dude.
And it's just because the people who are cheap as fuck, and we scrub everything down one brush, and if you put lipstick on there, we got to scrub it with the brush instead of wipe it with the rag. And so by the time you're getting to it, you're not the first person to do it, and it's clean. You break it all down with disinfectant, sanitizing stuff, but you know that brush is
still scrubbed with the same brush that scrubbed the toilets.
Oh, that's right. Oh, would you look at that?
The weirdest thing.
A wild niche is appeared.
God damn it. Yeah. You guys hear that?
Oh, wild niche. Now all the kids have gone to bed. Yeah, I can almost in bed. We don't have Opal anymore. She doesn't love us anymore. We're not cool enough.
I got fed.
Yeah, she finally found a place where people give her money. I'm thinking.
I didn't get any money from you guys, but God.
Yeah. Oh, that was a little awkward, and she kept bugging you for money that one time.
I was going to ask you, did you actually donate the $1 or no?
Me?
Yeah.
Why not?
Oh, no.
Oh, wow. Okay, I thought you did. You said you did, right?
Well, yeah, it made the situation stop.
Yeah, I was like,
okay, cool.
Uncomfortable. Like,
right. Yeah, she was definitely shilling constantly, dude, about her hunger.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was weird. I was like, why isn't she? Well, shoot. I guess it's about young and being prideful and young, but like, dude, if you really need food that bad, get food stamps.
Yeah. That was the part that was weird to me.
Yeah.
That's why you wouldn't be entirely on WIC or food stamps or something to help out. You have a kid, you got to feed yourself, your kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Although it might have always been secretly about the vibrator, and she just didn't want to say it.
Well, I don't know, man. She got all the donations for the vibrator, and then 3 or 4 days later, was posting pictures of her with a new shirt she bought from nearly viral or some channel. I'm not sure what it is. I assume it's a YouTube thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're not to shit on very nearly viral because I don't watch their stuff. Just there's so many YouTube channels I couldn't possibly know all of them.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of really popular channels. I just don't know that one particularly.
Yeah. Yeah, they're all right.
So
they're okay.
And honestly, like I did throw a $10 donation in there just because I thought the whole thing was fucking really entertaining and worth it to me. Because the whole situation was just so fucking bizarre and weird, and I'm like, I approve heartily, and I will throw a couple bucks in. It's like I've thrown a couple bucks at like Ren and Igor a few times when I have like extra money and I can afford to. I find their show entertaining. They're very straightforward about wanting to make money off of it. And, hey, a couple extra bucks I'll throw down to pay the person who makes stuff that I like.
Yeah.
Oh man! Although I've heard other people say that she generally, like even when she's on live streams, that she ends up getting kicked off pretty quick because people get annoyed with her pretty quickly.
Oh no! So there's another live stream that goes like, God, almost every other night. I want to say called the Cunt Stream. That's like the name of the channel is literally the Cunt Stream, 2 words. The Cunt Stream.
Right.
And their standard is they have her on for about half an hour, 45 minutes, and then kick her off, and then she gets mad about it. It's like a running gag.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay. So like one time it might have been legit, but now it's just they're just doing it on purpose, basically.
The guy who runs it, Schmeckel, he's got a really fucking fuck it all sense of humor. He's very nihilist.
I gotcha.
And so he's just like, oh yeah, well, you know what? Now you're off. Done. He'll kick anybody off. He doesn't really care.
Yeah.
Like he hates. I think he hates the Politipod because the Politipod he's always shitting on the guy, and he'll invite him and then immediately ban him all the time. And the Politipod keeps trying to join. Like suddenly, this is going to be his week.
Yeah. Like he's like, oh, he's just been joking this whole time. This time he'll let me on.
Well, and I think the Politipod's channel is actually bigger than the Cunt Stream. I'm not sure. I don't really keep track of it, but it's so weird. Like,
yeah. No, I've watched a few of the Cunt Stream ones, but like it seems anytime you have more than like 4 or 5 people on a stream, I kind of get annoyed. It's like, dude, it's just too many, dude.
I mostly just shitpost in the chat and try to like get them to mess with them in the stream. They're still small enough that they read the chat occasionally.
Oh, gotcha. Well, dude, any of those, like, I've found almost always the chat's like more entertaining than the fucking live stream.
Also, if you're on Twitter, don't forget to wish Wrath of Controversy a happy birthday. It is definitely his birthday today.
Wow.
Tweet that to him and say happy birthday.
Sure.
At Wrath
sure it is, Stabby.
Yep, absolutely.
That's a little happy birthday wish.
Yep.
Via Stabby.
Happy birthday from Stabby. Definitely.
Yeah. I was sent here to send you happy birthday because Stabby told me
to. All of our like 0 viewers.
Yeah.
Like his dish has a life.
I wondered what it was doing. I mean, a life is nice.
Well, apparently, the grocery store he works at, the schedule has just been totally fucking crazy. So.
That's right, Nish. We're talking about you.
Yeah. Some streams, the chat is what makes the stream. And I think the Cut Stream is one of them. I find them entertaining just because they're so nihilistic and just don't give a shit.
Right.
But, the chat is usually what's pretty funny. There's usually some fairly amusing people in the chat.
Yeah, that's the best, dude. That's why I kind of miss going to Liz's streams because chat was always really good, dude. Well, it's really not anymore, but
I just don't see a lot of streams anymore. I'm playing Ark now, and I'm doing a lot of errands during the day and stuff, and so I don't get to see as many streams. And,
I like the white YouTuber. I actually like that guy. He's already pretty good, but like I can see that like he's gonna get really good, dude.
Oh, be careful. Yeah, Nish, you're probably the only person besides us in the chat, dude.
Yeah. We've accepted this as fact a long time ago.
Yeah, nothing we say about live streams applies to this live stream, dude.
Oh, be careful with that whitest YouTuber talk. I think Lotus Wolf is really not a fan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think she hates the dude.
Oh, wow.
Or just has...
Yeah. Well, I don't like his friends. I don't like any of his buddies, you know. Gemini, dude, I was listening to his live stream earlier, and it pretty much confirmed my feelings on Gemini.
I like how
He's a fucking arrogant prick, dude.
I like how a portion of this live stream, this podcast, has been calling out other people.
Yeah,
I find that hilarious. It's like
it's almost always me though, isn't it? That starts that shit.
It's like there's this one guy. Yeah, fuck that guy. Like, I don't like it.
Well, here's the best part though: nobody's ever gonna fucking call us on it. Right. We don't have anybody that watches our shit.
It's like, normally I do try to fucking do that like offline, dude. So it doesn't, just so there's not a chance that it comes back on you or whatever. But yeah, and then I forget, like I just did.
I just find it fantastic. I was just like, because for one thing, I thought you guys clearly are part of like the streaming community, like far more than I am.
I enjoy watching them, and for a long time, my back was really fucked up, and I couldn't really get out and do much of anything. And so, literally, like I would spend most of the day just literally laying in bed watching live streams because, at a certain point, if you've seen enough shows and movies and TV, I can't just keep watching it all the time because I fucking know what's going to happen all the time. Like at a certain point, you just know what's coming around the bend. Like I am becoming a weeb watching anime because they actually have different like tropes.
Yeah.
And so I don't always know what's going to happen. Like for instance, I was watching Black Bullet, and it's this anime where like little girls who've been affected by this radiation poison in the air or something become like weapons, and most of them are like kept out of like human cities because everything's been taken over by these evil bugs that have been affected by the same poison, but some of them are like taken in and trained, and then they fight. Like one guy or a girl who's like an adult will basically like sort of be like the coach / person in charge of the girl that's a weapon and guide them in fighting and train them. And this one guy starts going to one of these old abandoned sort of like cities where a bunch of these girls have been gathered by this old man who's helping to like teach them and just make them into a family kind of thing. And you're thinking, oh, okay, so they're about to fight this really big bad monster that nobody could survive. But it's all going to work out because all these little girls are going to join in the fight. And
they all die.
And they all fucking die.
Wow.
And it's and they just don't pull any punches. And the little girl who he works with was friends with them. And she goes in and she sees all the bodies and fucking freaks out.
Damn.
It's just so fucking brutal. And it was just like, after that, I was like, oh, wow, this is never.
This is different.
Yeah.
TV shows,
so much for happy endings.
It's interesting because it's like a different kind of story. And I'm like, oh, I'm fucking in now. I got to see where this fucking goes. This is crazy.
That's it. They have like the panel that talk about how the story should go. And there's that one guy at the table going like, you know what? Fuck it. They all die. We're going to Game of Thrones this shit. And we're going to end up betting everybody. Yeah.
Usually when I watch movies, but that fucking got me.
Nice.
Yeah. I haven't watched a lot of them. I'm trying to think. Princess Mononoke, does that count as anime?
Yeah, it's anime.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like that one. Akira. I'm trying to think. There was one where there was this chick that was like poison. Like her power was like if you fucking made out with her or fucked her, you would die. And there's like this rock guy that ends up dying because he was like raping her and shit. You know what I'm talking? Does that sound familiar to anybody?
Damn. No.
Nope.
Yeah, like all of a sudden, like as he's like trying to fuck her, he just dies. But like normally he's in rock form. He can't die like at all. But like he changes back into a person to fuck her, or whatever, and she ends up poisoning him that way, and he fucking ends up dying right in the middle of trying to rape her.
That would have been the most useful.
Yeah, I should have asked that way earlier, dude.
That's
pretty good, dude. Sir. Oh yeah, it was Hep C. I forgot. Fuck. Or whatever fucking hepatitis she has.
I don't know. She actually seems like a pretty nice person though. Like to be.
Yeah, she actually does, dude.
There's a lot of people who are like in her level of fame who are just total pieces of shit. She doesn't seem like one of them.
Yeah, she seems kind of ditzy, but not. And I don't think that's an act. I think she's kind of ditzy, but yeah, it's still kind of business savvy, dude.
Yeah, so she's doing all right.
Yeah.
It's taken off and then got him put back on because she wasn't making as much money.
Right.
That's
yeah.
weird. You know that she did that, right? Pam
What?
Anderson had a breast reduction,
Huh.
and then wasn't being cast or in anything, and wasn't making as much money, so she had breast implants to put them back up as big as they were.
Yeah. No, actually, on her roast, Greg Giraldo made fun of her for that. They're like, they're not contacts, Pam. You know, in or out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, fucking. Oh, what's her name? The singer lady, the country singer with the giant boobies.
Oh, Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton has each of her
Yeah,
breasts.
she's singing with the giant.
Yeah, she's
Like,
got
there's probably
her
more
breasts
than
are
one.
individually insured, each one, for like 800,000.
Whoa.
Each boob is insured for 800 grand.
Who
Wow.
insures that? Is that like a
I-
She might, as well,
Geico thing?
she might as well sabotage him at this point. She's like
Like-
fucking 80 by now.
Yeah, really.
That's-
Fucking cash that policy in.
Yeah, well, that's why Pam Anderson got the implants, because she only ever got work because of her tits. That's the whole
Oh,
thing.
that's got to be an eye-opening experience for
Oh, I
somebody.
feel so bad for her because, like, she knows that's got to be the worst.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
it's terrible. It's like you're only as good as your tits. Like that's what we're telling you right now is that we will only put you in front of a camera
Fucking Hollywood.
if you have
Well,
tits.
that's again. It's not like she was a fucking tremendous actor, dude. Like,
Yeah,
Oh yeah, she's not. Yeah.
yeah, basically.
she's not horrible, but she's not that good, dude.
For it, that's for sure.
She's not Kristen Stewart, but you know, she's not great.
Yeah, definitely.
Sorry, I just remember you saying that you thought Kristen Stewart was an okay actor, so I had to throw that in there.
I don't think she's great. I think she's acceptable. Like, she's not the worst.
Stabby
No,
stab.
I don't want to start this conversation again, dude. I shouldn't have brought that up.
Oh, I don't care.
Let it
Although
die.
I did say again, the Twilight thing was partly the director's fault because he told him to speak haltingly and sigh a lot, apparently, for some fucking reason.
If you want to hate Kristen Stewart, it's not going to offend me. Like, I'm not.
No, I just it's not. I didn't feel like talking about it again. I was just taking a quick dig, dude.
We're just severing that limb. Clean cut. Leave it on the floor.
We should make fun of her.
Oh man.
Yeah. See, that's the thing.
Talk more shit. Oh, Jeff Holiday. This should be interesting. Is going to go and take on the race realists again. He's doing a whole series on the IQ thing. I don't know if you've ever heard of that race realist.
Nope.
Okay, so there's this whole group of fucking people who claim to be all scientific about their racism. And it's all based on IQ, and they're like, no, black people are dumber than white people on average. So that's why they're not as we don't need them as much as we need white people. But it's okay, they're not racist because Asians are actually a little higher IQ than white people. And ultimately what it comes down to is they don't understand, they don't seem to understand that even if you took only the most intelligent people, you're still going to get a mixed bag of people.
Yeah.
Right.
And the other one is that IQ is inherently flawed in the way that it's tested. You can't really test intelligence the way that they seem to think you can. IQ tests are entirely pointless. What an IQ test really is, the only thing it really does is test your ability for like STEM. Like if you're going to be successful in STEM, like science, technology, and engineering, and mathematics, like that's what an IQ test tests your aptitude for.
Yeah.
But it doesn't actually test your intelligence. It's just in that very narrow area, they've got a good test. Yeah, they're all about the bell curve. Exactly.
And I still don't get why they it's again, maybe it's the individualist in me, but who fucking cares, dude?
Yeah.
Like, who cares if all white people happen to be smarter or Asian people or whoever? Like, I'm an individual person. Like, did I get extra bonus IQ points because I'm fucking white? Like,
here's the best part. Like, the IQ test is literally like a test, a pen and paper test, tests you on mathematics, some basic pattern recognition, and some language comprehension. And they seem to think that you can't improve your IQ, and I'm like, well, any idiot can study for a fucking test and do better.
Right.
So where do they think that? Because I guarantee you take somebody who scores really low on the IQ test and you work with them for a couple of months to teach them about the subjects so that they know more, they're going to do better on the IQ test. So how do you explain that?
That's a ridiculous notion that it can't possibly improve upon.
And also the IQ is apparently inherited. So if your parents are smart, you'll be smart, guaranteed. Or if they're dumb, you're going to be dumb, guaranteed. You obviously don't understand genetics then, because that's not
right.
how it works.
It might make it more likely, but it does not guarantee shit.
It's more like teaching work ethic.
Yeah.
Like for people who have higher IQs or people who probably study more.
Well, and here's the thing. So intelligence, by definition, is the ability to gain and use skills. So it's essentially like you can learn new things and then you can put them to use. So if you're testing some sub-Saharan African dude who lives out in the fucking bush, what skills matter to him? Is it mathematics? Because I don't think he can get a fucking corporate job.
Right. Yeah, I don't think calculus is helping that guy out, dude.
But the dude might know the track of every animal in his environment and how to get them and how to hunt them more effectively than any other guy in the tribe. And that would be somebody who has a very high intelligence.
Yeah.
It's just directed towards something that matters to his fucking being alive. So you can't put him in a chair and give him an IQ test like you would to somebody who goes and does science, technology, and engineering and expect the same results. But you might have two people of equal intelligence nonetheless. And there's no real way to test it.
It's like in your respective fields or pretty much what is important to your culture.
Yeah.
It's like even the idea of intelligence is subjective. Like,
Yeah.
What is intelligence is a subjective thing, dude.
You put the three of us in like Compton, in the worst part of Compton, the worst. We'll probably not survive anywhere near as long as a lot of the people that have grown up there and have learned, and that's where all of their brain power is gone, is how do I survive in this shitty fucking area?
Mm-hmm.
How do I not get shot by the gang members? How do I make money to get food? Like their intelligence is directed not towards school, but towards their environment and how to survive. And it's like you can't sit there and say like, oh well, that person's dumb.
Yeah, well, they survived this this nightmare. Let's see how long you last.
Nish
come live down here and see how long you last and see who's dumb, dude.
Nish makes a really good point. Race realists don't understand the difference between knowledge and skill in the context of intelligence. Exactly. It's definitely the big missing link in what their supposed science. They also cherry pick science in general, just to they pick what they really want to believe.
Yeah, any of that's just fucking ridiculous, dude.
Yeah.
Any of that group shit, I just don't get it. I really don't.
Yeah, if you ever watch some of the race realist channels, they're fucking hilarious because they go out of their way to try to pretend not to be racist. They're fucking racist.
Yeah, but Stefan Molyneux's one of them, right? I don't know a huge amount about him, but he's one of them, right?
Oh, he's Stefan Molyneux, and he's one of the group of people who they talk really fast. They have an extremely good vocabulary. They have a very good command of interpersonal communication and what is and isn't effective in arguments.
Mm-hmm.
They understand argumentation and debating really well, but they're not necessarily super smart about the science they argue about. They're just really good at arguing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he would make a great cult leader too, I think, dude. Yeah. I think that's kind of his goal, to be honest with you.
Some of his ideas are good. Most of his ideas are bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Every sentence they speak has a qualifier. Yeah, pretty much. And then it's like Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro is a really, really good arguer. But some of the stuff he says just makes no fucking sense. Like, if you really sit and think about it, it doesn't make sense.
Sounds good.
When makes no sense. Him, he says it so quick, and he wraps you up in all these fallacies that you don't notice.
Mm-hmm.
He likes false dichotomy a lot. Ben Shapiro really loves false dichotomy.
Mm-hmm.
And whereas Stefan Molyneux really likes appeal to authority, well, such and such read it. If you haven't read that book, then you're not qualified to have an opinion on it. Well, that's not how it works, dummy.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. He definitely does. Yeah. That vegan gains thing of, well, vegan gains does it differently, but the dismissing of your whole argument because of some stupid fucking bullshit.
Yeah, and then
reason.
Venture Heroes is, well, you're either this or this, and there's no in between. It's like, nope, sorry, that's not how the world works. Reality, there are great.
Yeah.
Sorry, sir.
Yeah.
Communist.
Yeah. Actually, I like Shapiro, but yeah, he's.
Oh, I like him.
Yeah.
But he doesn't, bad arguing.
Yeah, he's perfect himself.
I think we got
Yeah.
a
No, but he's. I think it was Matt Christensen. Yeah. What?
No.
I'm saying I think we got to wrap it up here. It's been going on for a couple of hours, and
Oh shit! Yeah.
yeah,
I'm flying as always.
Time to wrap her up. And we'll see
Very
you guys
well.
on-
We'll
Yeah,
never
sorry to
quit.
cut you off, man. We gotta.
That's fine, dude.
Yeah, Engelhardt has to sleep, and I gotta walk him out so I can lock the door again.
Yeah. Give him a good mounting for all of us, Engelhardt.
No problem, man.
Nothing said the cast is worth anything because no one's on camera. Thank you, Nish. We appreciate that, sir.
Words of wisdom.
And on,
Nish Brown.
on that note, because none of us are on camera, we don't matter.
Yes,
We won't show our faces. Opinions do not matter.
You got to get better lighting here and change that.
But anyway, thanks for everybody who did join us. Thursday, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Another Chatterbox. So Thursdays and Sundays, Thursday afternoon and Sunday evening.
And I will be there for the Sundays.
Yeah.
I will definitely not be there for the
Sundays.
Thursdays because I have a thing called work like a normal human being.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. For the rest of us worthless fucks, we'll be there. I'll be there.
Excellent.
Have fun, you worthless fucks.